It's a bit stormy. No, we can't hang around here any longer. We've got to do stuff. Come on.
The hospital doing very dodgy things with the bodies. We saw a very suspicious thing floating in the water.
Hi, I'm Daz and she's B, and we're on a 12-week road trip round France with our boys and our greyhound Sammy. Join us as we explore the history, beauty and fun we can squeeze in while getting to grips with the challenges of working and home educating on the road as a family in France, living a life less ordinary as we escape in the motorhome.
Yes, welcome back folks. Now let's have a quick look at how far we've come using this delightful little app. Well, we're now in the Tarn-et-Garonne region, having left Occitanie.
Well, I'm just out on a very early morning walk with Sammy. He seems to be fascinated by his own reflection. I can't seem to pull him away. Hopefully this will be a short walk and I can take the paddleboard out on this beautiful pond-like Tarn River this morning. Sam. Absolutely zero recall.
Right, turns out the valve has a setting where it stays open, and I lost my 10 minutes of pumping in about 5 seconds, so I've just pumped it up again, as you probably saw. I feel like I've just done an hour in the gym. My arms are shaking. I hope this is going to work out. Just going to dump my main bag back at the motorhome, which is just behind those trees there, so I'm just going to enjoy the peace and zen of it all for another day of work in the office. I'm off down the Tarn River. And there's nothing ahead of me, no boats, no barges, nothing parked up, no people, just acres and acres of flat river. And don't worry, I've tied my camera and my flip-flops on really tightly. So, Indy's arm. We haven't really been recording it because it's been a bit stressful, and getting an appointment and finding a hospital receptionist that speaks English is pretty difficult. I can't say it's true of all of France, but it's been difficult for us. And thankfully I have a French supplier who I met on this trip, and he has been just amazing. He's been phoning hospitals on our behalf, explaining the situation, trying to get appointments for us. So we're off to Ouch today for an appointment tomorrow. Now, because this is all kind of outside of insurance, this is 65 euros I believe for the appointment and 30 for another x-ray. He's definitely going to need an x-ray. You didn't think I was going to leave you here, did you? Come on, we've got stuff to do today. Let's go. No, we can't hang around here any longer. We've got to do stuff. Come on.
Look at you! After a slightly traumatic walk across town, Montbel is busy today, and that route was not very nice with Google Maps. We've made it to the Musée de Jouets. So, Toy Museum. I think it's going to be a nice transportation through time of how people used to play with toys when they weren't plugged in. Anyway, this is only open Wednesday to Sunday, 2 p.m. onwards, and it's run by volunteers, and there are some English-speaking volunteers as well. The Montbel Toy Museum was awarded the Traveller's Choice Award from TripAdvisor in 2022. There is a Meccano workshop, a games room and a puppet show, as well as the thousands of objects on show. This is like a paradise of toys. It looks like from about the last 100 years or so. I'm standing in front of a massive Meccano crane. There's a huge train set behind me. It's fantastic. I can't wait to walk around it. It cost us €15 to get in, so that's 3 children and 1 adult.
Pourquoi il y a un rail au milieu? On est d'accord que des trains, dans la vraie vie, il y a toujours que 2 rails. Et même, autrefois, il y avait tout. Alors là, il s'arrête, c'est pour regarder la vache. Alors, on fait en minute avec la classe.
The oldest toys here are almost 2 centuries old, and there are some masterpieces worth several €1,000s. Behind the museum is a Children's City Association, a body of 60 members and collectors to ensure the museum functions and develops. And the Montbel Toy Museum is open every Wednesday and Saturdays and Sundays, 2 p.m. until 6 p.m, but it does open for longer hours during the school holidays. I particularly like their ethos: when it comes to toys, the child is king.
This is the American Civil War, so these guys are the Union in blue and the Confederates in grey-white.
Yeah.
The Union was fighting to abolish slavery and the Confederation was fighting to keep slavery in place.
Sure, we had this game. I'm sure we had Formula One. And of course, the Tour de France section is enormous. This bit is quite possibly the best bit behind me. It's where you get to play the games.
Good morning everyone, to another mild, going to be quite hot I think, day in France. Today we're on the outskirts of Auch, I think you say it like that, which is where Indy's got his hospital appointment to hopefully have his cast checked and removed and his freedom returned. And just in case it's useful to anyone, this little park up, it says it has 5 placements on that sign just behind me there, but there's a nice big gravel car park. It's absolutely silent last night. There's not a lot to do just outside the air, but obviously at some points during the week or month, down there's a bar, there's a stage, there's some tents for the locals at some point. Luckily not for us last night. So we've made it to the hospital just outside of Auch. Going to go in and check whether the appointment is actually this afternoon and check whether the x-rays have been received. I am full of anxiety this morning just because I don't know whether this is actually going to happen or not. I think I just want to get over this hurdle and then we can enjoy the rest of our time. I'm getting strong vibes of that horror medical novel that I read. I'm sure it's nice though. I think it was a Robin Cooper novel when I was a teenager called Coma, and it was very distressing and it was all about the hospital doing very dodgy things with the bodies. Wow, so this is the entrance to the hospital. Slightly different to QA, the one we're used to in Portsmouth. Yeah, we are going to be paying for our appointment today. The prices aren't so bad, but yeah, it's a whole different world from the NHS. I managed to get through it. So I had my statement already, asked about appointment times, asked whether his radios, which are his x-rays, have arrived, and I was able to glean from the brusque receptionist that I had to go in one place, and then I put my big girl pants on and went and knocked on the door, asked again, and they confirmed that he does have an appointment this afternoon, but they can't check that the x-rays have arrived. One of the hurdles
overcome. So we spent an anxious couple of hours at the pump track nearby. It was a scorching hot day, but at least we were able to find something to occupy the children while we waited.
Right, I've just spotted B over the horizon. Let's go and see what happened. Oh my gosh, check you out. Is it a different colour to your other arm? Amazing. Oh, how's it feel? Oh no. As ever, he's more interested in the sniffs, aren't you, Sammy? Wow, you're gonna pull me in the lake.
This free park up between two lakes gave us some spectacular views, notably of this, the Île aux Oiseaux, or Bird Island. But sometimes the noise was deafening. Listen to this.
Well, that's the end of a rather strange day. We started off in Auch. He's had his cast off and he's slowly regaining some of the feeling and movement in his arm. The x-rays look good. We've then driven about another half an hour out of east from Auch to a place called L'Île Jourdain, and the camping area here is basically a tree-lined street next to a lake over there where they do wakeboarding and pedalo, with a kids park. And then down the road there's a skate park and a dog agility centre. There's also a tennis club. Over there there's a swimming pool. Behind me is a wonderful nature reserve lake too, with about 1 billion birds all making wonderful noises over there. The trees are covered in white egret. It's lovely. And in town tonight and for the next 4 nights there's some kind of festival. We're too tired to go into town tonight, I think, after the stress we've had today. And tomorrow the kids can go swimming in the outdoor and indoor pool there for €9 for family. That's 1 adult and 3 kids, or 2 adults and 2 kids. After that, then what? I don't know. We're going to head, I think we might skip Toulouse of all places. The reviews for the camping areas around Toulouse are actually not that good. There's a lot of break-ins and stuff, and we just, don't need that. And big cities have not a lot of appeal really. It's their kind of, it's the historic centres that are appealing to us. And you've got, in a big city like Toulouse, you've probably got to wade through a ton of urban life before you get to those. We could park and ride it, but in all honesty, I'm finding the little medieval towns far more interesting and delightful. So I think we're going to sort of whip round Toulouse, head towards Carcassonne, and then down towards the Med, where we've got a nice little break. Not that kind of break. A nice little vacances. So we're not moving every day. We can chill out for a few days. Etienne's got his birthday, so we've got that to organise, and I think we just need a base camp for a while. It's a bit stormy.
Well, since you've had the cast removed yesterday, there's been swimming pool action, but now it's time for lunch. I love these lakeside bathing areas, especially during the summer. They've got people on the gate just to welcome you, answer any questions. They've got toilets, they've got information about opening and closing times, and they've got this beautiful safe bathing area. And it's open until 7 tonight. And we just checked out the weather, and it's just boring yellow circles after boring yellow circles. So boring. Where's it going to change? Joking. Yeah, if we could just turn down the heat a tiny bit so that I don't feel like I'm constantly melting or may have wet myself. So this morning, on our journey towards Montpellier, where we're going to start a bit of rest and relaxation, or all being well, next Monday, we are in Mirabel. And Mirabel is a town we visited about 3 years ago when we were house hunting. Yes, this morning Daz told me that he had the worst night's sleep he's ever had since he came to France last night. The camping car air seemed to be right near a community centre that was having some sort of party, which went on until quite late. But also, the camping cars that we were sharing the air with, they all had everybody up until what must have been beyond 2 a.m, maybe 3 a.m. It felt really late. I remember waking up and realising they were still talking outside. This is what happens though when you stay in these places. You just have to take it as you find it and put up with it if it's not as you like, because you're staying there for free, but it doesn't help you the next day. We shouldn't really gloss over Mirabel, as we only stayed here briefly, but it's well worth a visit. A terrible flood back in 1209 wiped out the villages of the area, so the town was built on the opposite side of the riverbank. This central medieval square is absolutely stunning. This wrought iron market hall was built in the 19th century, and somehow I found a bit of footage of the supermarket bookshelves. I wanted to show you how extensive they were, and there they are. I mentioned the graphic novels in the last vlog, and here, what a selection. You didn't sleep very well last night?
No, there was a big party time going on at the School of Music until at least gone past 2 a.m, where people seem to think holding their hand on the car horn for ages is fun.
Okay.
And then I think I woke up again and just after 3 a.m. and was thinking, oh, it's quiet. So, yeah, rough night.
In other news, I had an excellent time in the Mirabel supermarket this morning in Super U. My nearly 11-year-old informed me that his trainers were getting very tight, so I thought I'd be super organised, look up what the European sizing was for a size 2.5, check it out, get some trainers, spoke in French, found the trainers. She went out the back to get me a special pair, bought them, and they were too small. Now, assuming the refund policy would be the same as in England, I assumed I'd be able to go in and get a different pair of trainers in exchange, or get my money back on my card. Oh no. Okay. They didn't have his next size up, so instead of being able to put my money back on my card, they told me that I could have vouchers for Super U that I'd be able to spend for 3 weeks. And I said, that's great, we're in France for a long time, no problem. Oh no, you have to spend them in that very Super U that has to be in Mirabel, and you've got 3 weeks to spend them. And I said, well, we're leaving Mirabel now. And they went, well, you go and buy what you want. You can buy chips, you can buy alcohol. I was like, well, I wanted to buy trainers. So even though they were only cheap trainers, I then had to go and spend 15 euros on stuff. So I ended up buying beer, I ended up buying some pants and some shorts for my 7-year-old, and then some sweets to top it up. Yeah, so this road down to Montbel, Lac de Montbel, is a bit twisty and turny. It's not for the faint-hearted. Daz is coping admirably with it, and look there in the distance is the beautiful lake. It's a very interesting shape on the map. Looks like someone's just splattered some paint. friends, today is one of those days where you think, surroundings are just magical. And somewhere in the distance, the three boys, Dad's 13-year-old and nearly 11-year-old, have gone out to the island. And it is a reservoir that was filled in 1984, I was reading. Is my 13-year-old just getting himself back off the island? And in the background there, you can see the Pyrenees. So I guess beyond there, we've got Spain. So what did Daz spot in the water? You've guessed it, a great big brown floater. So paradise was found and then very quickly lost. We made a swift exit to a different part of the lake. So we've had a wonderful couple of hours by the side of the lake, but we're now going to move around to a different plage. Our boys have spotted the pedalos that we've used recently when we were in the Landes region, and anything to keep them on the water for a bit longer. And it was good timing as well, because we saw a very suspicious thing floating in the water. Floater, I think.
And with that image fresh in your mind, why not have some lunch?
Hola, Papo.
Oh, it's like Subway. And while I got ready to go, the Smalls found a park just next door to the site. Right, that's enough of that. Time to head to Carcassonne.
Wow, ouchie. Quite possibly the most expensive camping car air we've had so far we've been away.
It wouldn't be the first French person who would upset though, would it?
But apparently we're causing her some upset. And now we see the purpose of the circles.
That's all for this video, and if you got this far, well done you. Go make yourself a cup of tea. Like, subscribe, and until our next escape, thanks for watching.